Okay, and I hope we're live. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the Smudcast. We're a little late because the video we want to cover is behind age restriction or some other property does not allow us to use Watch Together. So unfortunately, we're going through StreamYard. It's fine. We've done it before. Just take some time to get used to. So the video we are covering is Mr. House is Bad for Everyone. This is made, just 7 days ago from TheHearthGuy, and it has 11,000 views. So good for you, sir, for a 13,000 sub channel. And well, it's one of my favorite topics in New Vegas. I always choose Mr. House as my ending. He's the best option as far as I can see, and that's up to debate. So I'm not saying it's the one for you. It's just the one that I prefer. And hopefully, we'll get a good argument from this gentleman on why he's bad in general, which is, I don't know where he's going to go with this, but it's probably going to be he's a big business tycoon, doesn't care about anyone except the bottom line, yada, yada, all typical stuff that people don't like about libertarianism or what have you. So that's fine. We've heard those arguments before. And hopefully it'll be a bit more academic or economic or some other discipline that we could sink our teeth into. Or it'll just be, he's a big baddie who controls everything. So that could happen too. Anyway, I think Mark is still trying to get in here, but he doesn't.
Yeah, he's having all kinds of problems.
Okay. Well, we'll let him figure that out. If not, he'll just not pop in. So anyway, here we go. Where is it? There it is. Okay.
Money. It makes the world go round, and so flat earthers hate it. Loving it is the root of all evil, and studies suggest that it does not in fact serve as a replacement for a personality. Shocking development, I know, but it didn't stop the 2070s America as the nuclear age brought greater and greater levels of prosperity, military might, and the rise of super corporations that upheld the backbone of the country's economy. Hello, everyone. I am the Hearth Guy, and it's time to remember the exact kind of people who led to this world becoming what it is. From the government-subsidized spawn of all things evil, Vault-Tec, to everyone's favorite morally questionable soda company, Nuka-Cola, and whatever the heck General Robotics was up to, these companies defined the
Is there a General Robotics in Fallout? There's a General Atomics Industries, and there's like RobCo. They do robots, but I don't think there's a General Robotics.
That doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, maybe he's referring to something else. Maybe it's like in 76 or some other game I've never played. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe it's just a slip of the tongue. Who knows?
landscape of the final pre-war years. But the one that continues to directly...
Sorry, Wisp, what was that?
I'm not a fan of the inclusion of the show because now nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah, that's not it. Well, okay, people love this. Well, in general, people love the show, but the fans of Fallout know better. So,
yeah,
critiquing things with the show is not a good sign for us. But if he's just going on general knowledge, then it's okay, I guess. So, I won't knock him for showing clips of the show because he doesn't have much to work with, I assume.
Alter the fates and fortunes of the post-war world are the lingering creations of RobCo Industries and its chief executive, Robert Edwin House, once one of the wealthiest and most influential men in the world, as well as one of the biggest egos you could ever hope to meet. It takes a special kind of crazy, ambitious, and arrogant to stick your head into a Windows 10 and proclaim yourself the savior of mankind for the next 200 years. At least when other people do it, they're able to step outside without crumbling under the weight of their sins and 2 centuries of extensive radiation damage.
I don't think he had radiation damage. He was just old and preserved. I don't recall him having radiation. Was that part of the lore? It wasn't.
I don't think so. I don't remember.
No. Yeah.
With radiation damage, you wouldn't survive that long.
Yeah, this was a specifically designed environment just for him to keep going, not to preserve him from death preserve him from radiation death. So unless I have that wrong, maybe it was powered by radiation. I don't know.
I don't know about
Just
that.
your typical I want to be immortal gig. Because how do you
Yep.
preserve your kingdom? You just don't die. Gilgamesh had the same idea.
Of extensive radiation damage. But regardless, Mr. House has made his presence known in the 23rd century, transforming the city of Vegas, once his favorite town, into a veritable oasis in the wastes. And he doesn't intend to share it with either the NCR or the Legion who's come knocking. Whenever talking about those who influenced the fate of Vegas and the Mojave, it's impossible to ignore the long mechanical hand of Robert House, a man who started off with practically nothing, cheated out of his inheritance by a jealous half-brother after the sudden deaths of his parents, who managed to create his company and thrive in the chaos that was the pre-war decades. His company, RobCo Industries, primarily dealt in robotics and software, being responsible for automated turrets, the acquiring and development of Repcon Aerospace, a certain giant robot the Brotherhood of Steel loves to use, smaller robots on
Oh.
wheels called Secure.
The robot was made by General Atomics with the U.S. Army and RobCo. It was a joint effort. So technically, he's not wrong, but he's missing a few steps.
Yeah.
If I remember my Fallout 3, it's kind of hard to recall, but I know it wasn't just the U.S. Army and RobCo. It was something else.
Securatrons and the very Pit Boys that have become the cornerstone of every Fallout adventure. His fingerprints are practically everywhere, and naturally that is truer in the Mojave than anywhere else.
Well, I do remember that General Atomics did all the Mr. Gutsy frames, all the flying bots. No, the iBots were RobCo, I think, and then the Enclave got those. So yeah, it was mostly Robert House and his stuff, and that's why New Vegas is so cool, because it all comes together. It all makes sense. Like, where did all this technology come from? GAI and RobCo.
It was his beloved city, and considering he knew exactly what was about to fall over all of mankind, he had plans to protect it and make it grander than ever. Predicting almost down to the day when the bombs would drop, he had defenses set up to protect the city, and for the most part he succeeded in sparing the core parts of Vegas from nuclear fire. But his miscalculation caused his plans to be behind schedule, with a certain platinum chip that was supposed to arrive the day after the bombs actually wound up falling, which would have upgraded the operating systems of his entire network as well as his Securatrons. And his internal software was not able to keep up with the strain, and for decades he battled crashes and power outages, only surviving through downgrading his software. The only question is,
Did he actually downgrade his software? I don't recall that in the lore.
It says on the subtitles there behind him.
Oh, really?
It says I backed up my data core with, let it play right here.
Okay.
crashes and
It'll
power
say-
outages. Only
Yep, right there.
Power outage
With
and
an-
more system crashes until I finally managed to reboot my data core with an older version of the OS.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. I thought it was just the hardware was ready to go and the software wasn't there yet, but I was wrong. Okay.
surviving through downgrading his software. The only question is, if Robert House can downgrade a city-spanning network, why can't I stop my computer from upgrading and bloating up all my RAM? House danced between being comatose, fixing his servers, and trying to gather his
Windows.
resources for a while, only beginning to make progress on his actual plans in the year 2274, when he began to send out his downgraded Securatrons to scout the area, and he began making contacts with certain tribes that had made a home in Vegas. 3 of these tribes accepted Mr. House's terms as the rising and returning landlord of Vegas, becoming his employees and running some of the major casinos. Those being the Ultralux, the Tops, and Gomorrah. And in exchange, he'd give them largely free reign with their own internal business and structures. These groups became the White Glove Society of mostly reformed cannibals, the chairmen, who are probably the classiest example of wannabe mafiosos you'll meet in this world, and the Omertas. The Omertas are the worst. We hate the Omertas in this house, and hope Gomorrah's fate is like that of its namesake. House also, probably, cheated the residents of Vault 21 out of their home.
No, it was internal. the way that Vault 21 was, it was based off a blackjack game, but it wasn't based off luck. It was based off skill. And the players were doing some sort of gamble that was really high stakes. And it was for the people who wanted to open up the vault as opposed to the ones who wanted to stay. And as a result of that, the house wanted to get rid of the vault. He wanted to fill it with concrete. I think Sarah and someone else, I can't remember who else, made a deal with house so that they would keep it going as a hotel, so that would make some money. So they only partially put concrete in the place. And this is where we get Doc Mitchell from and his wife. So, yeah, I don't think there's no mention of him cheating them at all, to my knowledge.
Filling up most of it with concrete and letting only a fraction of it remain as a hotel. He then pushed anyone else out of the Central Strip, causing the official settlements around Central Vegas to become more clearly defined as well. Those being places like Freeside under the Kings, West Side, North Vegas Square, and such, while other tribes like the Great Khans, habitual punching bags that they are, were expelled entirely from the city. So officially, the Free Economic Zone of Vegas was established with House as the CEO and administrator.
Yeah, but did they explain why they were removed? There's reasons why they kept people and why they removed people. There's rules to follow. So, like any administrator of an organization, you either follow the rules or you leave. It's not a good nor bad. Those are just the rules.
A libertarian state where economic growth and pursuit of personal wealth is the goal. The lives of the people are not House's concern, so long.
He's essentially the mayor, and it's a city-state, so he's kind of the ruler of that country.
Plus he saved the city from being destroyed, so I would imagine he cares a little bit about them.
Yeah,
otherwise he's got a ghost town on his hands.
Yeah, and this is before it was New Vegas. This was Vegas. He just liked the city. He saved the city. The rest is a wasteland. So he says, okay, everyone's under my purview now. I'm going to hire you. You do this, you do that. And the rest, if you're not following the rules, we're going to kick you out. So take it or leave it. I mean, he saved the city. So he has a little bit of leeway with what to do.
As they adhere to the simplest rules he puts in place, many of which are fairly straightforward, such as no killing where other people can see, no breaking the internal rules of each casino, and no interfering with how the house does business. This isn't a democracy. This is not a military. It's a business, taking the term social contract rather seriously. Being a citizen under the Free Economic Zone.
That's the same, whether it's a city or an organization. You're still part of a group. It's a social contract, whether you like it or not. Doesn't matter what you call it.
Yeah, it is. The social contract is a literal contract. If you break it, well, just because you are not actually signing it doesn't make it less real.
Yeah, it's a law or the law, whether it's part of the federal part of a country or the provincial or the city or the organization. It's a law that you have to follow, and it's nothing really different than
the social contract is. It's more of an idea in general, but it's also when the anarchists complain about being forced into it. That's just life. Because we are communal beings, we are herd animals. We require the social group and therefore the interdependency of it.
Right, and
so we need the mutuality, and that is the social contract is just an attempt to put that into words, I think.
Yeah, and I think whether it's a city or an idea like a religion, that most of these rules are like, don't kill. It's like, okay, don't steal. Okay, like it's pretty basic stuff that you kind of understand how a society or at least a community would operate. So there's nothing inherently strict or over the top about it, aside from the Securitrons getting violent. But that's just the wasteland's like 20 times worse. So it's like you have a giant robot with a machine gun protecting you. And if you step out of line, you get blown away. So
means signing a contract with Mr. House to obey his rules. No ifs, ands, or buts. However,
no, you could leave New Vegas. He doesn't care. Go ahead. Just leave. It's your business.
For he's also not interested in being a king or god. So if you live your life as a good employee or just stay out of his way, he'll allow you the greatest mercy he knows: indifference.
If only our world leaders were that benevolent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Indifference. Please be indifferent to me, my leaders. Thank you.
Yeah. Instead, they politicize everything and force themselves into our private lives because they define that everything is political, so they need to control everything. So
And
the house rule is much nicer
and cheaper. He doesn't tax. Does he tax? I think he does tax people. He taxes the houses, the 3 casinos. So
Isn't that just rent?
Yeah, it's something along those lines. I can't remember the rate, but everything else is like there's no other taxes for the people, as far as I know.
On the other hand, if he signs a contract with you, you'd better believe he will follow it to the letter. He shows great respect for such obligations, even when it would benefit him otherwise, such as restricting the access of his own Securitrons from the casinos without express permission from the 3 families. Even seemingly minor things, like refusing to reveal the name of the White Glove Society from before they became one of the families, is respected by House. If you ever get him to sign a piece of paper, he will never betray the words written on it. All this was done in time for a very important contract: the Treaty of Vegas, with the arrival of the NCR from the west and the Legion from the east. Realizing that one was objectively the better option for money and manpower, House made a deal that outrageously benefited him. The NCR would bleed themselves dry with manpower and money defending the Mojave and giving the Legion its fair share of black eyes, while House gained the time he needed to prepare for pushing both of them out of his nation-state.
Okay, but they're not. Like, the NCR is not pushed out, to my knowledge. There's
right.
a base.
And why wouldn't House make a deal that would benefit him? You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The NCR get hookers and drugs and casinos and food and water, and he gets protection because his Securitrons are not up to the task. So,
Right.
Sounds good. I'm not seeing a problem here.
Yeah.
What's the issue?
And of course, the money the NCR folks spent gambling their lives away in his casinos didn't hurt either, or the commissions he earned from NCR traders trying to make a quick buck as vendors. This time and money helped him find the platinum chip and begin an elaborate plan to bring it back to him under the noses of all possible enemies, except for one that came from within. Benny, leader of the chairmen, figured out House was after the chip, and with ambition that rival House's and in-game cutscenes we all recognize, he derailed the House's whole plan and the history of the Mojave and America itself by doing what you should never do: make a mailman angry. Had he gotten the chip, his Securitrons could have been upgraded and ready to fight with even the NCR or Legion, as their firepower and available numbers would dramatically increase, since an entire army is stationed beneath the current Legion fort. And no matter the numbers of either, there comes a certain point where a TV shooting an endless stream of grenades and missiles becomes a bit too much to handle. Then he'd get to work rebuilding humanity in the style he thinks is best, regressing mankind back to where it was and beyond in, as he claims, just over a century. And if anyone could do it, well, as much as I hate to say it, he might be the one. His technology has persisted even 200 years after the Great War, and his schemes have gotten him this far. Who's to say, with nothing standing in his way, that he wouldn't have all the time and resources needed, especially with a fattened NCR remaining as a customer for Vegas and whatever goods the Mojave may have after he claims control of the dam and Lake Mead, as power and water are ever precious in this world. Well, one of those people who'd say that is me, because while from a purely pragmatic perspective, Mr. House's plan is not terrible, honestly, it has got a far better chance than, say, the Legion of having long-lasting success, but I can't ignore the glaring downsides, and how it would negatively impact everyone involved. One severe problem with House's proposed future is that even before it begins, it breeds rebellion and betrayal. Look at every single one of the 3 families. Each one are rotting on the inside and poised to make trouble for old Robert.
Yeah, but they're not going to do anything.
And it's not his fault. Like you said earlier, like the three families have free reign and they're all in their casinos. So it's like, how's this house's fault?
Yeah, like what's the problem with the white gloves? What's the white glove society gonna do to House?
Yeah.
Do they even have any plans to stop him? I don't think so. And the Omertas they had a case of guns, like had one case of guns that you have to sabotage or get rid of. So, and they were going to attack someone. I can't remember what they were going to do. But even with the like the base Securitrons without the upgrade, they would have been more than enough to stop them all. The only major problem was Benny and what he was going to do.
Wasn't Benny like I think House mentions at some point that Benny was going to take over for him at some point. I think it's been a while. I think House mentions he was going to groom Benny to be his successor, and then Benny's just I'm just gonna do it myself. Well, so it's wow, Benny, you really screwed up your own plan.
Benny was getting way too ambitious and trying to get technology that wasn't his and trying to manipulate
look that up now.
All that stuff. And it was that's Benny. That's a good. You need a plot or a secondary villain in there, which is also our primary villain. So
yeah,
that was done very well, I thought. Chasing Benny.
The White Glove Society has a dissenting element that's gone back to cannibalism.
So what?
And should the worst come to, they convince the rest of the society to go with it.
I mean, but that's just, they're doing something illegal. That goes in the face of, what's his name? The farmer who's going to stop selling beef because he wants his son back to the strip. But you can easily convince him saying, hey, don't do that. He's like, okay. So, I mean, that's one business deal that House could take care of if he realizes that there's not enough food for everyone. That would be a very simple thing. And then he just reprimand the White House or the White Gloves for not doing that, for not taking the deal. So that wouldn't be a huge problem.
Not only breaking their contract with House, but potentially cutting off the flow of food to the strip, since they kidnap and may even eat the son of a prominent NCR Brahmin Baron. Mr. House may not eat, but all his employees do.
Yeah, and he would solve that problem. That's not an issue. That'd be so simple. So, plus there's farms all all across Vegas. Like the NCR has farms all being grown with the water that's being given to the city. So they could start their own farms. They actually do have some, but it's not theirs. It's that's the thing. He's not there to do the everything. He's there to facilitate the requirements for the people to do what they want, to make their own businesses and sell their own products and all that stuff. He could become like the Kirkland of a New Vegas Costco, right? You could just have every product. He could do that if he wanted, but he doesn't. That's not his job. He doesn't want to do that.
The Omertas are conspiring with the Legion to attack the Strip and oust the rest of the families.
Yeah, but then they'll be fighting everyone. They'd be fighting the NCR. They'd be fighting the Securitrons. I'm sure the Tops wouldn't like that. The White Gloves wouldn't like that. The Free Side wouldn't like that. I mean, it would be a bad idea. There is no Omerta coup. It's not going to happen. It's one crate of guns, which everyone has a gun in Free Side anyway. So I don't know what the hell.
Yeah.
What the Omeras are going to do with their little pistols and a sniper rifle.
And House remains entirely unaware of it unless the courier intervenes. Although,
yeah, but that's the point. That's the point of the game. So,
Does
anyone actually let them? Does anyone not play the Omerta mission and just let the Omeras do whatever they want? I don't think so. You blow it up all the time.
The courier could also make it worse, but the courier could help cause most of these things to happen anyway. And Benny would probably be halfway to running Vegas if it weren't for the courier coming out of the grave to teach him to triple tap next time. The entirety of Yes Man's existence and what can be done with him could just as easily have been accomplished by Benny, and it originally was supposed to be.
But he gets caught, and Caesar kills him either way. You could let him go if you want, but at that time you already have the chip, so not really, no. Benny would get caught and die. He's pretty clever. Benny's pretty clever, but again, if you're not involved, he'll die anyway. So,
Although, admittedly, with a little less ease, since the NCR and Legion aren't as directly interested in Benny as they are with the walking narrative non sequitur that is the Courier. House is also playing a dangerous game with the NCR. Obviously, he doesn't have to worry about them so long as the Legion is around, but they're still out to assassinate him. Just because the Courier was the most convenient option doesn't mean they aren't trying to get the same outcome. Would it work? Unlikely, but there is a reason every faction that isn't him.
No, they would not be able to penetrate the Lucky 38. There's no way. You're the only one in how many decades that he lets in, and it's covered in Securitrons. His basement is like completely locked up. You have to even know it's even there.
Yeah.
It's
just a whole lot of problems.
There's if you get access, if you know where he is, if you get past the Securitrons, if you know how to kill, like,
himself requires you to kill him. He holds the keys to Vegas, and everyone sees it. No matter how improbable it is, if he dies, then the entire house of cards comes toppling down. And if someone, not even the Courier, were to mess up a single part of his plan, like, I don't know, destroying the army of Securitrons that he has underneath the fort, then he is cooked. Also, without that upgrade, the Securitrons aren't outlasting a frontal assault from either enemy faction.
I don't understand. Yeah, if you choose not to side with House, you could do all these things. That's true. But if you're not the variable in all these events, I don't see how Benny is successful. I don't see how Caesar lives past another year because he's on his last legs. I don't see the 3 casinos doing anything. And I don't see the Legion will just keep growing, I guess. That's the only major problem without Caesar. NCR will just keep being the NCR. They won't attempt anything. I don't know. Yeah, it's really about the Courier. But he's making the assumption that the Courier will just stop all this from happening. It's like, yeah, that's a choice you can make, but that's not what happens. You could choose whatever you like. It's not canon.
You could even argue that the 3 families could pull it off if they banded together, and all have shown a tendency to disobey House. Truth be told, those version 1 TV Roombas are not all that scary if you have enough people aimed at them. Or if, like, I don't know, the Brotherhood of Steel, you can match his tech pound for pound.
Not that chapter that we came from. No. They barely go out on raids or for scavenging. There's very few of them left. We find their bodies throughout, or the missions are to find the dog tags and their armor throughout the Mojave. So they don't pose a threat either. If another chapter comes by, maybe, they could raid and attack New Vegas, but good luck. I mean, everyone's gonna be defensive then.
Another reason why House wants you to blow them up, of course, but supposing you miss any, then even a single squad could be a consistent problem for a pack of Securitrons. Heck, any smart enough pack of humans could likely find a way to take advantage of Securitron programming. Robots in Fallout are repeatedly shown to not be that hard to hack or undermine. And with an entire army built on the backs of them, the downgraded versions aren't posing a major threat in the long term. If they're upgraded, sure.
They can be rebuilt. There's a factory making them constantly.
Yeah, that's assuming the factory doesn't get destroyed or anything like that.
Exactly. Like, this is the whole issue. Like, say a necromancer, it's like, well, how do you get more bodies? You kill people in war, and you just bring them back, and they're skeleton warriors. It's the same idea. These things just keep coming. Like, they have the
don't
numbers.
Run out of bones.
Don't for a necromancer. In this case, it's just the base model keeps being pumped out. So, what's the argument? If you destroy the factory, that's true. Again, player choice.
Yeah.
But many of the hardware issues that plague them are going to remain, and a single pulse grenade can toast them all the same. Hey, that rhymed. which is a problem if the NCR ever decide to outsource weapons productions to a group like the Van Graffs, who are known for their more technologically spicy weapons. Suffice to say, as
Okay, and they work within New Vegas or Freeside. You could make the same argument that the Houses could take that over, or House himself could make deals with the Van Graffs or any other organization. Like, and it's not to say that all the other groups outside of Vegas already have energy weapons and power armor in some cases. So, yes, there are many violent threats outside of Vegas. This is true. Have they done anything with all that power yet? No.
is the trend in New Vegas, House is playing with fire if he doesn't have the Courier on his side. And if the NCR ever manage to find a way to get rid of him, Courier or not, they're doing that in a heartbeat. For all of his...
Yeah, but how? How do they get rid of House? They've been there the entire time. They could, yeah, anyone could possibly get into the Lucky 38, but no one has. Why is he making the... There's no evidence of anyone ever infiltrating the Lucky 38 or having a gigantic successful mission against Mr. House.
Yeah.
Talk of centuries of planning and the time he'd have to raise up humanity. In the present, he's working with a time limit.
What time limit exactly? He's effectively immortal. He can mass produce his robots, not at a very high rate, but he can still do it. He's slowly getting access to the platinum chip. He's slowly getting access to the power from the dam. I don't know, like what is the time limit here?
Moment any of the other forces, big or small, aren't worried about everyone else, they are gunning for his shriveled head. Speaking of, another flaw is the proposed immortality of House. We don't actually know how reliable this device he's plugged into is. We can walk up to it and press a couple buttons to undo his entire operation, and only a few pulse weapons to clear the way to get there. Breaking into the Lucky 38 would be an obvious hassle, one the Courier doesn't have to worry about. But once you're inside, it's kinda game over for Old House. Putting that aside, we have no clue how stable his condition could be, since just a few minutes outside could be enough to annihilate his weakened immune system, and whether he likes it or not, metal and glass can wear away too. Supposing he does win the gamble for Vegas and starts sending people into space or whatever, that won't fix whatever long-term degradation may be on its way or has already occurred. He doesn't seem like the most stable person sometimes, and though that could be just his ego talking, it's not impossible to think that his mind is slowly going too.
Okay, this is a really stupid assumption. Like, eventually he's going to go crazy. It's like it's been how many 100 years? Okay, it's possible
Doing
he could
pretty
die.
good so far.
Yeah.
He's effectively
very
immortal.
well.
He's very smart. He's very organized. He picked the right guy for the job. A guy who he used his Securitron to dig out from the dead, bring him to Doc Mitchell. He used to be part of Vegas. Effectively bring you back to full life and send you on a mission of vengeance to get the chip back. That's pretty clever. So and plus he has that Securitron constantly following you, making sure you're okay so you don't die again. I'm not seeing the fault. He's a super genius with a technological power advantage in the wasteland.
Yeah.
No one else has. And he's immortal. Like, okay.
Consider that the geniuses of Big Mountain couldn't stop their brains from slowly rotting away inside their jars. If that's the case, one would have to hope that House wouldn't make a similar mistake. That being said, he might be uniquely sensitive to another problem.
Well, there's a great example. These people did sort of lose their minds in their own little way, but Mr. House didn't.
Well, weren't they crazy before they became robots?
They were a bit eccentric, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I would assume this just amplified that. But
yeah,
Mr. House was always eccentric. He was always a megalomaniac. He was always super genius. So it's like strip himself of the needs of the flesh, and he's just like pure intellect. He's the same guy, only more. I said this before in other streams, but you can't corrupt him. He doesn't care. He has no need for anything. He's just a brain in a jar, essentially, like these guys. Only he's sane.
To appear. The tunnelers of the Divide, who are, by Ulysses' estimate, already making their way to Vegas. And with House and...
So he's assuming in the Divide, these creatures that have been radiated and whatever are going to make it to Vegas?
Well, I've seen some arguments against that, actually, because the tunnelers live underground and they're very sensitive to bright lights. They wouldn't go anywhere near Vegas because it's all bright lights there.
Yeah. Well, what's the argument?
24/7.
What's the argument for Deathclaws coming to Vegas? What's the argument for Yaoguais or Cazadors or whatever? Like
yeah.
What do you?
Or the geckos.
They're not that intelligent. Why would they go
Right.
to the place with the big nasty guns that kills them all? Anyway. All right, we got the thread not for the 10 pounds. Thank you, sir. His tech is unreliable. My proof is that someone with the right skills and determination who wants to end him can do it. Oh, but that's totally not an argument for taking your rights away, right? Oh. He doesn't confiscate anyone's guns like they do in the other casinos. He doesn't tell them what they can't use. They can do drugs. They can do whatever vice they believe in on the strip. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's pretty libertarian. He's like, yeah, live your life. I don't care. Why would he care? Just don't kill anyone.
He has greater goals.
Exactly. He has bigger ideas. He has bigger important things to think about than the ethics of the people on the strip or whatever.
His entire operation rooted in one place at the moment, he could be more vulnerable to the tunnelers' arrival than any other alternative. The NCR and the Legion can always pull back, and in independent Vegas at least has the courier with experience dealing with them. But House? He's not just unaware of them, but if the tunnelers do what tunnelers do, his underground facilities could be sitting ducks.
This is insane. I've never heard this argument. A bunch of mindless underground, I guess nocturnal. I don't know how they would live. So what? They're a bunch of gopher-like humans.
Yeah, and they're gonna specifically target his one casino
for some reason.
For what? For what? Yeah, and it's all concrete down there, right? I'm assuming. How are they going to get in? Can they break through concrete?
Maybe. I don't know. It's this, the tunnelers from a DLC. Like, okay, they
yeah. Why is he putting so much emphasis on the tunnelers? I mean, if we're making this argument, well, what about the mist from Sierra Madre? What about that? That could take over New Vegas.
They could keep pumping that around in the air, and you get this big misty world. The Mojave's covered in poisonous mist.
The mist takes over New Vegas. It's like, oh well.
I would be more scared of Ulysses and his nukes. Him wanting to nuke the bear and the bull and all the thing in between. He might even nuke the NCR base at in Vegas if he wanted to, but then the house would just shoot it down.
Yeah, he's got the lasers or laser cannons or whatever.
Like 50 or 60 lasers or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Especially since the generator of the Lucky 38 powers his entire rig and preservation pod or whatever it is. Another Divide-related problem could be if the courier decides to bomb out the Long 15 and cut off House's biggest customer from the Mojave, crippling any sort of export-based economy he was hoping to benefit from.
Yeah, but that's just one. There's multiple options.
Well, plus he's also been doing fine for the last 200 years before the NCR came along.
Yeah.
I mean, the NCR is more of a recent thing, really.
Yeah, and they're just there to provide defense for whatever trading routes are already there.
And the Legion.
Yeah. And I think you could actually side with the Legion and they could take over that job. It's the same idea. He's not going to run out of resources. The problem is he wants more power, like literal electricity.
I swear to God, if he brings up Joshua Graham, I swear to God,
Joshua Graham's going to come with a 5mm. He's going to come
with his 45 and his holy book.
Yeah, he's going to start preaching. Oh, you guys are a bunch of sinners. I have to kill you all. Like, what? Joshua Graham.
As a counterpoint to that, based on the show and the NCR being in shambles, House may benefit tremendously, since the Mojave could be a more reliable source of resources and just safe land in general. At least until the tunnelers, but you get my point. As most people flock to
What's up with the tunnelers? What is he talking about?
Why does he keep going back to the tunnelers?
How does the NCR dying bring the tunnelers into, like,
oh my God,
from the divide? Like, how does that happen? What is this tunnelers argument? I don't get it. This DLC made a specific kind of enemy, and now they're like invincible. They're like so powerful. It's like, no, they are strong, but they're not like Deathclaw strong.
Yeah. Well, no, they can kill a Deathclaw, can't they?
They're not that powerful. They really aren't. There are Deathclaws in the Divide as well, and they kill you instantly. So,
right.
Tunnelers are just, you can't really see them. They pop up out of nowhere, and it's like, oh no, and then you kill them. And then it's like, oh, whoop-de-doo. So, I don't get the argument. There's so many other bugs and stuff in the wasteland that are more dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Oasis in the wasteland, the biggest problem of his regime will rear its head: the people. Believe it or not, when a large group of people feel as though they could have a better life if they just got rid of a single obstacle in their way, they will absolutely do it. Compared to the NCR, which keeps up an air of democratic ideals, or the Legion, which brutally punishes those who step out of line, the hands-off approach of Mr. House, combined with the dog-eat-dog economic landscape he'd allow to thrive, would create a populace that more than likely think they could do better without him.
How?
But why? But why would they? They don't really care, do they?
They have first off, he lets the NCR in, and the NCR have their own rules, and that's their land. House is like, yeah, do whatever you like. I don't care. As long as you don't break any of the cardinal rules, that's fine. Why would they stop the guy? Why would they raid the 38 or try to raid the 38 just because they were unhappy about something? Like, who would even do that? This is the problem I had with the Omerta's plan. Like, they're going to take some guns and they're going to do something. It's like, okay, but you have weapons. Everyone has weapons. What are you going to do with those guns? How are you going to crack into the 38? What? I don't get it. These are all like children playing with toys, and House is literally looking down at them and going, oh, that's cute. Okay, yeah. I don't really care what those ants are doing over there, Courier. Can you take care of that while you're there?
House is like, I don't care what they do, but once they start getting to my front door, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, and he's got all kinds of Securitrons up and down the strip. I don't think they're going to be able to handle them. And when one goes down, then they're all going to attack. I don't get it.
The Omertas and Benny already think that. The Kings think that.
Yes, but they're not going to come together in an army and organize against House for no reason. They're free. They have no restrictions. I think they're paying rent. That's it, which is the most basic thing anyone who owns a property does. Why would they? We don't like your rental reasons. It's like, what? We want to buy the land. It's like, fine, buy the land. House doesn't give a shit. Okay, great. Now what? What's your problem?
Yeah, and here's another thing. Okay, so assume like all these different, the houses and the people of Freeside come together to overthrow Mr. House. Okay, assuming that they do, what then? Who's going to run the place? Because now you're going to have separate factions who came together, who all want power, and now it's like, okay, now who gets to run the place? It's like, well, everybody's going to be saying me at the same time.
And they're going to fight amongst each other.
And they're going to fight. They're going to kill all each other. Yeah, exactly.
And then you're going to have another king or despot in control. And it's the same thing, only worse. Why would anyone do that? Like this whole idea of this benevolent, invisible ruler that doesn't do anything is basically in a wasteland a great concept. You have walls, you have a bunch of armed people that are well-to-do. You have I wouldn't say casinos are the best entertainment to spend your money on, but there's the hope of a better life. That's the kind of the idea of a casino. It's exciting. It's all this stuff. So that's just the Vegas model. I don't say it's a good thing. I'm just saying it's a vice that the Americans have more vices, the tops have less vices, and the white glove are kind of prissy, weird, eccentric goofballs. I don't know what you want to call them. But they're not doing anything damaging. They're not hurting anyone aside from the capturing people and killing them for food, which is in a wasteland not the worst idea, but not the best for sure. I don't see what the problem is for Mr. House. It's been going on for 100 years. No one is clamoring to stop him. It's only because of the courier choosing to get involved and purposely stopping him that anything ever happens, which is great as a game design because you're the avatar of fate for all these events. So all these arguments aren't hitting anywhere. I don't even know where to put them. Like what they could happen. Yeah, a bunch of people with guns could try and raid a heavily armed facility with no idea of information or security. Or sorry, what was that that bug you had to plant? And they tried to hack one of the computers. And like, yeah, we have no idea what we just got. We couldn't all the gibberish. It's like we have to figure this. It'll take months to figure out what the hell just happened. It's like, okay, good luck. So all his security is way up there. No one knows who this dude is or where he is or what he's doing. Great plan.
West Side thinks that, and the
This side is poor.
list just keeps growing.
I don't think that the remnants of the U.S. Army. There's like one little group of old airplane pilot. Look at this. There's elderly people that were part of the enclave. There's like one little group of people in there, and you can get the band back together for one little mission, and that's it. They are not going to do anything. They could barely probably take on a chapter from the Brotherhood in New Vegas. There are no big players in Vegas aside from the Legion, the NCR, and House. Everyone else is very tiny.
Satisfaction being met by the cold indifference of a faraway autocrat isn't usually met with shrugging your shoulders and getting back to work. Benny is a prime example. For all his talk of not policing people's lives, House changes his tune real fast once it gets in the way of what he wants. And if what people want and what the House wants begins to clash, specifically over and over, dissatisfaction will turn to resentment, which will turn to outright disobedience and rebellion. What makes more democratic/Republican systems work, even for all their flaws, is that the people feel at least a part of their voice is being heard, that they aren't totally shut out from dictating the larger fate of their nation and society.
What exactly is House doing preventing these people from living their lives or doing what they want? What exactly is his like what's the speed bump preventing these people from going over? Like what's happening here? What rule, what tax, what control? Like he's not the Legion. He's not instilling slavery and killing all the unable-bodied people and raping the women. He's not doing any of that. He's basically a wizard on a tower with magical knights protecting the tower and the area around it. That's all he's doing. And if you step out of line, you get shot.
A lot.
Yeah. You can try and raid the tower, but chances are you're going to fail. And why would you do that? This is a very odd. Yeah, you could try to go up against House when we've upgraded all the Securitrons. Dumb idea, but you can do that. You could go a 180 and go, yeah, I'm going to side with the Legion. Like, what? Okay. You can try.
It's when this is corrupted that it starts to fail, and when
How and who corrupted House? What is his vice? What is his weak point? Tell me. I want to know, because he seems to be a purely intellect, has no desire for earthly things aside from helping everyone. He wants to go to space. He wants to send people on an interstellar journey in 100 years. Where is his vice? Tell me. He's not the Omertas. He's not in it for the money. Even though he's a businessman. Technically he is, but he's not. He doesn't need money. So what exactly is his vice? I got to know. You cannot corrupt someone who's incorruptible.
the will of the people is ignored wholesale, you create the perfect breeding ground for revolution. No matter what advancements House promises and provides, it'll mean nothing if the people don't feel like they benefit from it.
They're alive.
In the first 25 years, he's going to bring back the old technology from 200 years ago, or whatever. That's just the first 2 decades. He's going to revolutionize the city compared to the nuclear wasteland of death.
I mean, imagine you're given a choice. Do you want to live in the city where you're being policed by Securitrons and it's being presided over by Mr. House, who's a robot, by a computer essentially, or you can live out in the wasteland with the Death Claws and the Cazadors.
And in the city, you have the NCR, you have the Kings, you have a bunch of other groups who are pretty good, like the Followers of the Apocalypse, and they're all treating people well. There's all kinds of businesses. Yeah, there's some shady ones.
Yep.
But that's you're free to do whatever you like and associate with them.
Just don't go to the Ultralux.
Just that'll get cleaned up. The Ultralux is going to get found out within like a few months. Like, come on. If a major Brahmin rancher loses his son and no one can eat meat, we're like, what the hell happened? And everyone's going to knock on their doors. Excuse me, what did you do? Where is this boy? And then they're going to raid. That's the thing. The NCR would raid the Ultralux, and boom, you're eating people. We got to kill you. Boom, done. You're toast. It would be straightforward. NCR might even take it over. And then the House would make a deal with the NCR saying, okay, you could own this casino. You could do what you like, yada, yada. It's just so stupid. What are these silly things?
And when that day comes, outnumbering him, they will overcome whatever stands between them and him.
How? Who? What plan? This is all like there's lots of people, and they disagree with House on something we don't know what, and they'll all suddenly organize, and they'll all know how to stop House without any information, because it's inevitable for some future event. We don't know why.
The very same things that inherently make Mr. House appealing and a potentially successful option are the same things that come back to bite him and his entire dream.
Such as?
Not to mention that he just doesn't tend to inspire loyalty in people.
If you're talking about Benny, that man fucks over everybody.
Yeah,
he screws over everybody he comes across.
Okay, if you have a choice between the inept NCR, the psychotic Legion, and Yes Man, I don't even know what Yes Man is. Like, he's just a robot who's going to do nothing. Do you want anarchy, or do you want some guy who made this all, who preserved, who saved it all? Yeah, he has a bit of an ego, but he's incorruptible. He has plans to defend this place and make it grow and help humanity come back to what it was, and even more so. Like, this is pretty much like if Elon Musk preserved himself and started to revolutionize the future, but a nuclear war went over. Says, okay, great, now we got to keep people alive. How do we do that? How do we get security going? How do we get food and water? How do we get electricity going? Like all the basics. Okay, once we have the basics, now we're going to build up and we're trying to expand this place. And you may not like his personality and his way of doing things, but he hasn't intentionally hurt anyone. He's not evil. He's probably more benevolent than any other group out there, helping them through business, which is always a bonus. He's allowing people to live their lives however they want, with basic rules.
But that scares me. I need to be told what to think and like and do.
I don't get this.
Freedom scares me.
Like, imagine you like the Kings. The Kings are awesome. They're so cool. They're so friendly. They're so masculine, whatever. And they're going to rise up against, I don't know, the tops, because they're the next masculine dudes in line. They would get slaughtered. It would just, you would have to build up to get the lucky 30. I don't understand this. None of the only major threat is the Legion. The NCR is kind of like bleh. They're just sort of there. They don't have much motivation to take anything over, and they've tried before and they keep losing. The Brotherhood's a joke, at least in Mojave. The Enclave is a nothing burger. They're barely there. And what other? There's no real other major groups that are worthwhile talking about. It's maybe the Death Claws, but they're not intelligent enough to.
Oh. Hey, what about the Boomers?
The boom. That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, they certainly got the firepower.
They have but they don't want to. They just want to just blow.
They want to be left alone.
Yeah, exactly. They want to be left alone and blow stuff up. That's their thing.
Hey, I wouldn't mind joining that group.
We want to fly a plane and blow stuff up from the air. Like, okay.
And set fire to savages.
Yeah. The house is like, yeah,
don't you
go for it. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. And you could tell House, because you could say to House, hey, I don't want to kill the Brotherhood. It's like, no, you got to kill them. They're stupid.
Yeah.
But the Boomers is like, yeah, I'll ignore them. That's fine. They're okay. He can shoot down their planes. They have one plane that's not even airborne yet, and he could shoot down their missiles like it's nothing. So
I haven't really understood the problem of this guy.
No.
Yeah, and we're almost at the end here. We got like 2 minutes to go.
There's nothing here. It's like, well, maybe the player could. It's like, yeah, of course the player can do things. That's the game.
Yeah,
but if the player's not involved in it, nothing's going to happen to House.
I mean, on top of that, like Benny kills quotations. The player takes the platinum chip, and then he does nothing. He goes back to Vegas and he does nothing.
He gets captured.
Right, but I'm saying, like, up until the player gets there to confront him at the casino, Benny is just sitting back doing nothing.
Right.
It's like, okay, so what were you going to do, Benny?
And then only he escapes. That's when he runs over to the Legion, where he thinks he's going to turn on. He can't turn on it. He's going to fall down that factory. He's going to get radiated and get killed by all those Securitrons. Like, there's nothing. Like, no one. The only one who can do this is the courier. He's a badass. Your player is so strong. That's the idea. He can endure all the radiation and all the bullets. And Benny's just a schmuck. He's going to get himself killed, and he does.
Yeah.
And then Caesar dies. Caesar's going to die in a few months anyway.
Yeah.
And then the Legion's going to be like, well, we will keep going in Caesar's name. And you're like, okay.
I mean, if season 2 of the Fallout TV show is any indication, Smud, I'm just saying.
I don't want to know. I don't want to. I saw half the video. I just stopped playing. Nope. Not for me.
I'll watch it. I'll let you know.
I will have to finish up. I'll have to finish off my last video because the last episode of the show was so bad. I had to stop. I recorded all my lines last year. I was like, nope, not going to do it. And then
you got 3 more months, Smud, until December, which is so.
I won't change my lines. I'll just do the video, or I don't know, flip the video or something. It's so nauseating when you know the lore and you're just like, this is stupid. This is so stupid. Why would they do this? Why would they make a farce out of the most beloved Fallout game.
I can't wait.
Oh. And I love the actors. I love their performances. I thought this was...
They're great. They're great.
They're so good, except what's his name? The black dude. The Brotherhood of Steel guy. Everything about every episode, he's different. I'm like, what happened to his personality before? Now he's a kid again. Now he's acting like a child. Now he's a warrior. Now he's friendly. It's like, what is his personality keeps jumping all over the place. It's so strange. Anyway, enough about the show.
Yep.
As we stated before, and he's shown a lack of flexibility at times when it counts. Sure, he can adapt when he must, but when it comes down to predicting and leading people, he's repeatedly shown that he's just not capable of making the very subjects that make up his utopia trust or believe in him.
Okay, so Benny is a schmuck. Right. His second choice is you, who he has saved from Benny, and he sees you. Okay, you have reason to stop Benny, and you have reason to get the chip because that was your job. And that's the whole joke about, don't piss off the U.S. mail service. That's kind of the running gag. It's like, okay, yeah, he's going to come get you. So
and your character's like more reasonable, I guess.
And sensible and
yeah,
can take a bullet to the head amazingly. So
2 bullets.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, you've got plenty of motivation to stop Benny and find the chip for whatever reason. And then you're like, oh, Mr. House wants to revitalize the strip and bring power to it and get power from the dam and stop all this stupid crap going on with the NCR and the Legion and be a real power in the Mojave. You're like, yeah, it sounds reasonable. I'm not saying it's the best choice, but everything just connects. And the arguments are NCR are incompetent, and they're going to keep being incompetent. The Legion are horrible, horrible people. Yes Man is an anarchist, I think. I'm not sure exactly what Yes Man does. He just does nothing. We're just going to stop everything from being in control of House so that we can not be in control. It's like, why? What are the benefits of that? I never understood what the Yes Man argument is. He's just there. And House is going to say, well, we're going to strengthen our defenses. We're going to advance technology. This is kind of like when you compare it to Fallout 4 with the very questionable ethics of replacing people with androids.
Oh yeah.
For the what's it called? Not the system. What's the group called?
The Institute.
The Institute. Like, there's very questionable morals there. That's like, okay, you guys need to stop. And maybe the argument is, if I'm in control, I'll make them stop. That doesn't happen. So that is very bad. Whereas House is like, no, I'm not stopping anyone from living their lives. I'm not replacing anyone. I'm just defending my home and allowing people around it to live their lives. Like, that's it. That's all he's doing. He just happens to have magical superior technology, which will not hurt you unless you break the rules, which is the equivalent of a guy with a gun. Don't break the rules. Don't tread on my property, and I won't shoot you. Fair.
And while he may follow every contract to the letter, not everyone is him, no matter how much he may want them to be. I mean, isn't that exactly what happens every time another faction is chosen by the courier? For all his offers and promises, and even the gifts he may give, he is unable to stop a single person who feels that they can't trust him, or that someone else can do better.
No, it's not a matter of trust. This is just player choice. The player could have any reason to do this, which is the great thing of RPGs. And he's trying to justify the player as a character in the story, which is just role playing. It's like, I could role play as a badass and agree with House because, I don't know, I think House is awesome or whatever. So this is not an argument. Player choice is not an argument.
He's a single man trying to direct all of humanity, which means that there is no one to
keep trying to save his city and then bring humanity back, which, again, megalomaniacal. That's true.
I mean, I guess the way you can think of it is like he's trying to return to the way things once were, and I guess you can make the argument was like, well, that's how we got into this whole mess in the first place. It's like, everybody was warring and fighting with each other back in the old days, and that's what led to the nuclear war. And House wants to go back to those days. I don't know. I guess that's the only, argument you can make.
I see it very similar to like a game of Civilization, where one civilization has enough culture or military might or science or whatever to dominate and influence the rest of the planet as a victory of that design. And that's all he's, I'm building an empire. It's not a totalitarian empire. It's not a communal empire. It's just an empire where I own this and people around there can rent my property and do what they want and live their lives. And we just keep expanding and we grow, we learn, we get better technology. Everyone gets happier and healthier. We try to cure the world. And eventually, it's like 100 years, we're going to go back to sending people into space and go to other planets. It's like, what? 100 years? How is that possible? That's how ambitious and brilliant this guy is. And to not have that intellect, like who knows how many plans he has to benefit humanity that we don't know of. Like this is why I see him more as a benevolent autocrat than a guy who just wants money or power. He has those things, and yes, he wants more, but it's the goal of advancing humanity, as opposed to, let's say, creating an army of androids and replacing humanity, or replacing a bad person with a good android who acts just like the old person but better. You're like, oh, that's not good. that's not a nice thing at all. So it's a much more benevolent picture, and I always say he's incorruptible. There's no way you could stop him in terms of his morals or his vices. He has none. He has no earthly desires. It's all ambition. It's all, let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can restore humanity. In a very egotistical way, I admit, of course. He's very intelligent. Which to me sounds...
to be some egotistical behavior in order to accomplish this.
Yeah, and that's why
it comes across as egoism.
And that's why we compare it to there was the Big Mountain, or the Big what is it called? The Big Cell? What the hell is that?
Big MT.
Big MT, where those guys are just like comically goofy, over the top, silly not power mongers. Just like, I'm going to create a giant scorpion. Like, okay, why? Like, it's silly. It's to make you laugh. Whereas House is like,
they get all their ideas from 1950s movies.
And killing the commies and whatever. It's like, what the hell what is going on? Whereas he's just no. We're real men. We're doing the job we're supposed to do, and that's to save humanity. So
the whole casino operation you can interpret as just a means to an end because it provides the resources.
I'd say so. Yeah, and he loved the city, and he wants to mirror the wasteland as Vegas, a place of opportunity. It doesn't have to be gambling. It could be business. It could be anything. So
you have to start somewhere.
I don't see the negatives aside from I don't trust this guy. He's scary. He's got an ego. Blah 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 blah. And you're like, all right, true. But has he hurt you? Is he going to hurt people? No, he's not going to enslave anyone. He's not going to kill anyone. He's not.
He talks down to you, but.
Well, yeah, he's just
that,
If you're a super genius and you're talking to your little ant, you're like, please, little ant, go do my thing. You're like, okay.
I mean, when he introduces himself to you, he's like, I was a billionaire by the time I was 30, 30 times over. It's like, okay, dude, we get it. Yeah. Where's all that money now?
Yeah. It's ironic to see what the show did with him. And how he was part of this, and you're like, "Ooh, it's not."
I'm curious to see what they do with him in season 2.
Oh God, please do not put him a brain in a box like they did with that other guy.
Well, not to derail this whole thing. It sounds like in season 2, it's like the ghouls blaming him for what happened. like the bombs dropping and everything. But that's speculation at this point. Anyway,
if he's like a robo brain or anything like that, it's like, oh no, please don't do that. Anyway, we're almost done.
Take up his legacy. No backup plans for himself. Because he can't imagine a world where mankind can thrive that doesn't include him. A lone beacon of supposed enlightenment that will quickly be forgotten once it's snuffed out. Thank you everyone for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to support the channel and stay up to...
I did not hear one argument aside from players can kill House.
Yeah.
I think he's
You have
jealous.
access. I
think
don't
he's
get it.
jealous of also success. He also and the only way he can attack him is by saying, "Oh, he's mortal."
Supposedly, he will lose his mind.
God, how can you do the worldwide communism if you're not like God?
Yeah.
I mean, eventually his body will probably give out.
Maybe
eventually,
theoretically,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Might be another 50, might be another 100 years. Who knows?
This is speculation. I don't like it. Use the lore and say, okay, in the lore, Ulysses has nukes. He could nuke or try to nuke New Vegas. You're like, okay, but we know what happens if he tries. He'll get shot down. Fair. Okay.
Yeah, so, I think like even in the lore, they said it was like what, a 90% chance of shooting them down or something like 92% chance.
Yeah, he missed like 2 or 3 missiles or something like that. I can't remember what the number was. But it's like, what's the major threat? The Legion. It's always the Legion. The NCR is not going to attack New Vegas. They're in New Vegas. They like New Vegas.
Yeah. Plus, the NCR is more bureaucratic than anything. They're more about their paperwork and rules and things like that. They don't do anything without a plan, essentially.
Yeah, and the idea behind if the player does this and kills House, I think that's either you side with NCR, you side with the Legion, or you side with Yes Man. Like those are your 3 options to kill House.
Oh, Bacon Minion says House missed like 30 nukes.
Oh yeah, out of like 55 or something like that.
Yeah, but none of them directly impacted Vegas. So
yeah, he was saving himself and his city exactly. So that was his purpose behind stopping it. Yeah, I always choose the House ending. I find it the most satisfying for me. Never went Legion. I never ever gave Caesar. I always had elaborate ways of how to kill Caesar. It was always with how do I stack my C4 in just the right way where everyone dies except for me. That was always fun. But no, I tried Yes Man to see what the hell happens, and Yes Man just gives you a little monologue like, I'm just going to disappear now. And you're like, what? The nothing.
Yeah. Well, you also got to remember too, Yes Man was essentially programmed by Benny.
Oh.
So it's basically just going off of what Benny's saying.
It's such a nothing ending. I don't know why you'd ever choose that. There's nothing to look forward. Like even if Mr. House doesn't accomplish half the things he wants to do, at least he's trying to save the world. At least he's trying, like he's in the right path. And even the followers of the apocalypse are like, yeah, send the power. Just don't give them to the Legion. You're like, yeah, just give it to the
send it everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Which is essentially what House is going to do. He's going to help everyone through business. It's the simplest thing.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see, like a Fallout game where that it follows what House intended. Sending people into space, but then I think we would just get Outer Worlds.
Oh, really?
Which was made by the people that made New Vegas. So maybe Outer Worlds is the Mr. House ending. Where we finally go to space.
Apparently, that's a clever idea. If you're making a game and you like the ending of one of your game or your options, and then why don't we just keep going but make a different universe? Like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah.
They probably can't because Fallout does belong to Bethesda, so.
Oh no, they did some clever things, and like it wasn't it was kind of like an okay game. It wasn't amazing, it wasn't bad. There were some problems with that game, but the idea behind the corporations in space, that they're still in charge and you have to like, you're paid to say the words when you say hello or goodbye to sell a product. that was hilarious.
I haven't played Outer Worlds. I mean, I know the sequel's coming out like I think next year.
Looks
and
good.
I want to play it, but I hear some people are kind of like meh on it on the first one.
Because of their what was the game they released this year? The dual wielding, it was fantasy. They had a really shoddy Skyrim ripoff stuff, open world.
I don't know.
I can't remember. You saw the gameplay and you're like, nope, not for me. It was like a AA Skyrim sort of thing. But yeah, no, the company was woke as hell with Fergus in charge. Yeah, maybe they'll make, because again, there was a lot of woke crap, not woke crap, but just woke stuff, like your lesbian companion who her quest was to have a relationship, or get her into a relationship with some older woman. You're like, okay, this is weird. What are we doing? There's a lot of weird stuff in the Outer Worlds, but I generally liked it, and the humor, because it was a Tim Kaine game as well, so the humor was there, so I enjoyed it, but not for everyone. I understand. Whew. Do we have memes? Oh God, I don't think I could show the memes on screen unless I have to link to them through another screen. Let me see if I can do that. Da, 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 da. Can I do it? See, guys, this is a very temporary setup, so I gotta figure out how this works.
Yeah, I'm looking at the memes right now. Of course, they did with the obvious one.
The obvious one.
You know, Mr. House, Dr. House.
Oh, okay. I like those. Let's see what we got. Alrighty. I think I can share my screen. Yeah, we're good.
Yep, there we go.
Okay.
Yep,
yes.
There he is.
Nice. House would win. I don't care if they're supposed to be on the same team. House would still win. Oh, The Good Doctor, that show. Okay.
Yeah.
The Good Doctor is
he's got autism.
Autist? Is he?
Yeah, he's got autism.
I thought it was Asperger's. Okay.
I think it's Asperger's,
autism.
yeah.
That's a form of autism.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but it's a dumb autism.
What is going on here? Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh dear, don't bring up this animation ever again.
It will haunt us forever.
I say the whole world must learn of our peaceful ways by force.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go build my own theme park with blackjack and hookers.
Yep.
Forget the park.
Forget the park.
Oh no, is this that crazy? Oh
yeah, it's that globe out in Vegas. Like you can project like images on it.
I think that's it's a movie theater where you can go inside and it's all around you, I think.
Yeah, I've never been. I don't know but I've heard like you can project stuff on the outside of it.
Oh, cool.
Have they ever put the big vans on it?
I don't know.
That has to happen. At least when he's elected.
So Yes Man is enjoying the water. Good for you, sir. Oh, lupus. Smitty Man Jensen.
Oh, I get the joke here. It's essentially supposed to be Victor digging you up. I think that's what they were going for. It's like it's Victor digging you up.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Isn't that also the plot in Mass Effect?
Sadly, not quite executed the same way. Oh my God.
You gotta love them.
I don't remember that episode.
I don't
How-
either.
How did this guy?
House also dropped Pokemon lore.
Oh yeah. How did this guy even get fat despite food being rationed in the vault? Good question.
He
Yeah,
ate the
very
other
good question.
vaulters.
Oh God.
Cannibalism.
The best I can do is $20 and some lint in my pocket and maybe a spare paperclip. And that,
I'm gonna have to bring in an expert on this.
Oh no.
Oh, the Hangover. Yeah, they're on their way. They're in the elevator in the Lucky 38.
Yeah. Aren't you a bit overreacting? And then boom. Welcome to the apocalypse. I hope you like leather. I prefer suede.
Ugh, for a kids show.
Wow. Let it ride. Yeah, ride. Yeah. I call him Gambler. All right, that was it.
I remember there was like a mod you can download for New Vegas. Like someone posted a video of it where like it's like there's like this crazy mod where you can like eat the platinum chip. You can threaten House with like eating the platinum chip, and he's like, "Okay, hold on now."
Whoa.
He's like, "Don't do that." And then you can actually eat it, and he'll be like, "You son of a bitch."
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was weird.
That would derail, I mean, the entire plot with going to Kaiser and factory, Benny, and yeah. Jeez.
I have to find that video.
I haven't done my playthrough of Vegas this year. I probably will near Christmas just because it's a thing I have to do. There's so many games I have to catch up on.
Yeah.
But, I just don't have time, and I'm glad I have a life outside of gaming, but still, it's like, oh my God, I look at my library like, whew, too much. Anyway, guys, that was great. Always fun to talk about New Vegas, even if the YouTuber is rambling and we don't agree with him, but at least we have our own lore to fall back on. And we got other media coming up. I think it's December, the second season, people were saying.
Yeah, I forget when exactly, but it is December.
Wow, that's not too far away.
Yep.
Jeez. Anyway, hope you guys had a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for all, staying along with all the technical difficulties. And I don't think we'll hopefully have to go through that again this month, but you never know. So,
Yep.
have yourself a good one. Good night.
Night.
Good night.
We need more good crazy.